of God of Rainbows. The stories you're about to hear today are stories of real people who are involved in the revolution in Iran right now. Most of these were published online. Some have been communicated to us directly. We have changed small details to protect the identities of the individuals who are at risk of prosecution for their activities. In some instances, we have changed the wording of these stories to add to the effectiveness of them and have a smoother translation. We dedicate this performance to all the children who have lost their lives in the past 2 months in Iran at the hands of the monstrous regime of the Islamic Republic and all of the people fighting for woman, life, and freedom anywhere in the world.
I became our class representative recently after a student council election at school. Instead of the usual slogans, the candidates had been writing things like "Women like freedom" on the walls. After the election, the headmaster took us representatives to her office and asked us to report anyone who tried to protest or shout any slogan. We didn't say anything, but once I got back to class, I told everyone what we'd been told. And I reassured them that I won't give up anyone, even if they hang me. I still ask them to be careful and not to trust anyone. The school's atmosphere is strange. During the breaks, teachers and principals walk past the students as if they're trying to listen to what we're saying. So, we fall silent. I used to really like our headmaster. She wasn't very strict and supported us. But now, we don't trust her. They keep telling us that we shouldn't have any political acts or shout our slogans. Before we turn 18, they have stuck pieces of paper on school walls with the phrase "freedom is," so that instead of shouting our slogans, we would write down what we want to say. But we are really angry, and we want to shout, and we want to scream. That's why we come to the streets after school, and we all shout together. Other people on the street sometimes join us as well. Saturday was the funeral of Mirshad Shahidi. Some of our schoolmates obviously couldn't make it to the funeral because they were in school. So they decided to protest there. Then the fucking school principal called the police, who positioned snipers. They positioned snipers on the surrounding rooftops. My classmates took pictures of them. The principal threatened to share a list of our names with the police if they asked. We are not safe anymore.
Not wearing a headscarf in front of these countless plainclothes and security officers, it puts me under a lot of mental pressure. Okay, a lot. And honestly, lately I've been getting headaches and even nausea one day. And I've become so impatient and so nervous in general these days. Because every time you walk out there, every time you walk out onto the street, especially those with the swarms of security forces, you expect a gunshot, you expect a baton, you expect arrest. And I've been lucky so far, because I've been caught 3 times, but never shot, never arrested, for God's sake. But still, the unveiled women, we grow in number, especially at night, when we're joined by the growing number of women who don't wear their manto either. We feel so happy. When we run into them on the street, we just exchange a little smile with our eyes and our lips. Even in the most threatening situations, even under the watchful eye of the gods, you still see women riding on the back of motorcycles. You see women walking around without their hijab. I have to keep attending these protests. I have to. Especially without a headscarf, because it's been 43 years of this. 43 years of crime, of fascism, of dictatorship, of brutality, of suppression. We can put an end to it. We have to put an end to it. For years we've suffered under the regime. They've crushed our hopes, they've humiliated us, and now finally they've shut up. Compared to what they've put us through, our revenge is just as small as the tip of a needle. All we're doing is not wearing a headscarf, and they're furious, so furious. So many people have died just for taking that small little step forward. We won't forget. We can't forget. These days, our hair has become more like Medusa's snakes than ever, a tool of resistance. In the streets of Tehran, we still find people to turn into stone, and they can't blink. But this shall pass. And that day will come when it's not necessary to pick up our armor every day, pick up our shield every single morning. That day will come. A day when removing your headscarf isn't some tool of resistance. A day when life is going to be normal. Yeah.
I, we went out to the streets to express our rainbow identities. We flew the LGBT flag to tell everyone that we exist, even if you torture our bodies in our communities. That we are what we are, and that we won't back down. But police forces attacked all the protesters, and I lost my friend. She later called me and said that she had been beaten and harassed. I was also beaten by batons. We both managed to save ourselves. If I, a non-binary queer person, gets killed or murdered in the current circumstances of Iran, don't let anyone dismiss or overlook my queerness or my sexual identity. Remember me as a member of the rainbow community whose mere existence is a crime. We are fighting for the recognition of our identities, which has been used to oppress us, to punish us, and to torture us. Nobody, not even my family, should be allowed to deny my queerness. I am queer with pride. I am queer with pride for all the oppressed identities that remain unknown forever, for the murder and the massacre of the rainbow community, for the dismissal of our love as transient or temporary, for being called a minority, for being overlooked, for my rainbow family.
Jsem iránský Kurd, žijící v Evropě. Většina lidí tady už slyšela o tom, čím vším si Kurdové v Iránu procházejí. Ale ani kdybychom vykřičeli do světa, že od minulého týdne jsou tam lidé pod těžkým armádním útokem Islámské republiky, ani v nejmenším by to nepřeneslo všechny hrůzy páchané na Kurdech. Je pro mě nesmírně těžké sledovat zprávy o tom, jak moje lidi dennodenně střílejí a zabíjejí. Ale stejně nemohu přestat a při každé příležitosti sjíždím na telefonu zprávy z Iránu. Udržet kontakt s lidmi v Iránu je těžké. Internet je většinou vypnutý a vyhledání v Kurdistánu VPN, která by umožnila komunikaci, je zásadní problém. Režim páchá zvěrstva v tichu a temnotě. Někdy to trvá celé dny, než se opět spojím s celou rodinou, protože nemají internet ani elektřinu. Před pár dny se mi podařilo mluvit se strýcem, který pracuje jako administrativní síla v jedné kurdské nemocnici. Popisoval mi, jak v jeden den přijeli v mém rodném městě mnoho zraněných a 9 zesnulých. Říkal, že téměř všechny zastřelené oběti měly zásah buď v hlavě, nebo v srdci. To znamená, že zatím stáli snajpři, jejichž úkolem bylo zabíjet. Rozobilo mě to i rozlítostnilo. Hlavou se mi pořád hodili vládní snajpři, jak v mém rodném městě vraždí lidi. Tam, kde jsem prožil dětství, chodil do školy Potkával se v kavárnách s přáteli, měl svá první rande. To místo se teď změnilo v jatka. Neustále se mi hlavou honila drásavá myšlenka, že by mezi umučenými mohl být i někdo z mých příbuzných. Strýc pokračoval. Máme rozkazy zhora, že nemůžeme vydávat těla rodinám, jelikož pohřby by se mohly stát rozbuškou protirežimních protestů. Když domluvil, nastalo tíživé ticho. Jak bych se cítil, kdyby to byl někdo z mých příbuzných a neměl žádný pohřeb? Ztratit milovanou osobu, kterou policie střelí do hlavy a nemoc ani uspořádat pohřební obřad? Nemoc se s ním ani naposled rozloučit? Už jsem to ticho nemohl díl snášet. Tak jak ses teda zachoval, strýčku? Odpověděl, nemohl jsem to jejich rodinám udělat. Tak jsem se rozhodl, že budu nařízení ignorovat. 4 těla jsme vydali ještě týž večer a následující ráno zbylých 5. Přemohlo mě dojetí. Byl jsem tak pyšný na svého strýčka, proto, co udělal, i když jsem dobře věděl, že tím ohrozil sebe, svou svobodu, možná i svůj život. Strýček hrdě pokračoval. A stalo se přesně to, čeho se režim obával. Pohřby těch 9 lidí přerostly v obrovské protesty. Možná se zamýšlíte nad tím, proč lidé jako můj strýc riskují, že neusposlechnutím rozkazu ztratí všechno, co roky budovali. Přijdou o život, nebo ohrozí životy svých blízkých. Řeknu vám proč. Protože i když se o svého strýčka hrozně bojím, kdybych byl na jeho místě, zachoval bych se stejně. Situace v Iránu se zhoršuje. Začíná být nedostatek jídla, léků, přibývá mrtvých a zatčených. Ale já se začínám poohlížet po jízdenkách zpět do Iránu. Abych mohl bojovat po boku svých sester a bratrů. Protože Kurdistán je jedna velká rodina. Nezáleží na tom, kolik lidí zabijí. My budeme hrdě stát jako jeden muž, bok po boku a bojovat za svobodu.
Zan zindagi azadi! Zan zindagi azadi!
Thank you so much. Hope it makes a difference and saves at least one life somewhere in